In today's video, I'm going to be playing Brawl Stars for 24 hours. The main purpose for this video is to find out how much progress I can make in a 24-hour period. With that being said, I do have a few goals in mind so that I'm not just playing randomly. I'd like to master and get my Crow to R30. I'd like to master and get my Leon to R30. And I'd like to get my Spike to R30 since I already mastered him. I'd also like to get my Nita, Chester, Frank, Amber, Shelly, and Surge all to R25. I'd also like to take a brawler that I don't use very much and max them out and get them to R25 or something like that, just to see how much I can improve with them in a 24-hour period. And lastly, I'd like to see how long it takes me to unlock a brawler because I will be unlocking the Brawl Pass in this video, hopefully completing it, and I'd like to get at least one brawler from it. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, did you know that only 22% of you are subscribed? You guys should do it because it's free and I'll be posting more Brawl Stars and you're still watching, so you might as well. Anyways, let's get on with the video. To start off with, I'm going to be playing with Surge because he can help me complete my quests for the day. In game 1, I got paired with this Crow, which is going really well until it wasn't. Nonetheless, the W was secured, leaving us with a good start to the challenge. The star drops from hour 1 were all pretty much garbage, but I was able to get my Surge up to 512 trophies, and after a few heist games with Amber, I was able to get her up to 604 trophies. To conclude hour 1, I was able to win a few duel matches, gaining my Surge, Amber, and Shelly all a few trophies. In hour 2, I grinded duels because I figured that if I had a long win streak, I could get a pretty decent amount of trophies in a limited amount of time. It worked out pretty well too because Amber is absolutely broken on this map. I then reached 12,000 trophies, which gave me just enough credits to unlock Nani, and then I was able to unlock another brawler, and I was really divisive between Kit and Cordelius, but I eventually chose Cordelius, 1 because I've wanted him for a while, and 2 because my chat also told me to choose him. Aside from about 2 losses, grinding duels was extremely successful, but I'm not gonna lie, I got kinda bored, so I just decided to start playing Spike. That honestly went pretty well, and by the end of hour 2, I was able to get my Spike to 830 trophies. At the beginning of hour 3, Supercell hit me with the Trophy League reset, which obviously makes a dent in my progress, but it's not an insane amount. There was also an incredibly good gem offer in the shop, which guaranteed a legendary star drop and a bunch of other random star drops, so you guys already know I had to get that for the content. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything too crazy in the random star drops, but I did get Chester's star power in the legendary star drop, which I have been wanting. For the rest of hour 3, I pretty much just grinded Leon and Knockout, and I actually got this pretty good daily star drop, but I did decide to stop playing Leon because I was going on a pretty big losing streak. So I decided to grind out quests with Crow, Amber, and Nani, which led to a relatively successful hour. Not much happened in hour 4 aside from me losing about 20 trophies with Leon. I tried to do the duels method again, but I found that it wasn't nearly as successful, and I'm pretty sure it's because I was using different teams for them. I went about 50-50 in all of my matches, so I didn't necessarily lose or gain anything. Now's probably a good time to mention that I was on vacation for hours 3 through 5, which is the main reason why I've been prioritizing quests, which is where I spent about the first 40 minutes of hour 5. Since I'm almost a quarter way done with the challenge and I haven't made much progress yet because I've been going back and forth with my games constantly, I decided to max out a brawler that I don't use very much. I decided that Max would be a good choice because I don't use her very often, but she seems very fun in concept. I really like her speed and her power, so I decided to max her out, except for the hypercharge, I'm not that rich, and I also got a skin from the shop. Even though I maxed her out, I still don't necessarily know how to use her, so if you can imagine, the first round didn't go very well. We did end up winning the round, and it does give me a basis for improvement, so overall this first match wasn't that bad. But you guys already know, I don't fumble twice, so I improved over the next couple games and actually ended up getting some pretty nice kills and star player. In hour 6, I mainly just decided to grind max, and I saw gradual improvement with my gameplay, which was consistent with the amount of star players I got. By the end of the hour, I was actually able to get 404 trophies with max. Pretty similar case with hour 7. Although I was noticing that the competition was getting a bit more challenging, I was still able to get max to 523 trophies. In hour 8, I got pretty bored of playing max, so I called in reinforcements and GB Missile showed up to carry me. Although I was definitely getting carried, I was able to hold my own at times, and I even got star player for a few of the games. I even clutched up this 1v2 between this Miko and Piper, which ended up winning us the game. And by the end of the hour, we were able to reach 900 trophies. The only issue is that by hour 9, I lost half of those trophies. If you can imagine, I was pretty demotivated by that, so I decided to stop pushing R30s and start pushing R25s. I started to play with Amber because once again, Amber is broken, and after winning a few games with Amber, I decided to switch to Nita. And although I never usually play Brawl Ball, I decided to this time with Nita because all the maps for the other game modes are horrible for her. Toward the end of hour 10 and pretty much the entirety of hour 11, I decided to grind Frank up in trophies. We actually dominated for a vast majority of the games, and by the end of hour 11, I was able to help my Frank gain over 150 trophies. And in case you were curious, this is why I haven't shown the daily star drops as much. And for the majority of hour 12, I grinded Surge to almost 660 trophies. In hour 13, GB Missile and I decided to grind Spike again, and it actually went really well. We even met this Rico, which ended up being a pretty good random. Although we were initially doing really well, a few back and forth matches costed us a lot of time, so we ended with around 920 trophies towards the middle of hour 14. Afterward, we teamed up with Cosmo to help push my Surge some more. This worked out pretty well because Chuck is absolutely broken on Heist. Afterwards, Cosmo had to leave, so GB Missile and I decided to play some duo showdown games, which rounded out hour 14. This left my Surge with 698 trophies. Then in the beginning of hour 15, I decided to play Shelly in solo showdown, and I thought this particular game was pretty funny because I started taunting on this guy, and then like 5 people showed up out of nowhere. I somehow escaped this insane situation, and I actually ended up placing 3rd. Then I ended up opening some pretty bad star drops and got just enough XP to open the Brawl Pass. I started by opening the non-star drop objects first, which are definitely the most progressive items in the game. Obviously, they gave me an insane amount of progression and are by far the best value you could possibly get in this game, but the star drops were not that kind to me. In fact, this is undoubtedly the worst star drop opening I think I've ever had. I'll even put some statistics on the screen right now so you guys can truly see how this star drop opening was. With that being said, I still did get a lot of progress with the non-star drop rewards, including 24,000 gold, about 4,000 bling, about 150 gems, 3,000 credits, and a lot of power points. But considering I now have officially less than 10 hours to complete this challenge and half of my goals aren't complete, I need to lock in. And lock in I did. I was grinding hour 15. Carried or not, I was tryharding all of these games. I was so tired of not having a plan, I just decided to grind all my R25 so I could put all my effort into my R30s. I didn't do very well this game, but I got the W, and that's what matters. Surge was done, so I moved on to Chester. For the rest of hour 15, I just grinded Chester to get some wins, and I ended up with 704 trophies. With how focused I was during these games, I could see my improvement not only with the character, but also as a player. After a crazy win streak, just 7 minutes into hour 16, I was able to get Chester to R25. If you don't believe me, here's the proof. I spent the rest of the hour grinding Shelly and Knockout, which I'm not gonna lie was pretty painful because this map is not good, but I was able to get her to 650 trophies. In hour 17, I decided to grind solo showdown because relying on teammates on that map with Shelly is just not a good play. I'm not gonna lie though, I had to do what I had to do to survive these games, and that includes bush camping, and a lot of it. And I know this is lame, but sometimes the wins just hand themselves over. And I would feel bad for the people that I ambushed, but this Buzz would have done the same thing, so meh. If it makes you feel better though, my karma did hit me because this was undoubtedly the biggest fumble of my career. Nonetheless, the W was secured and I was able to get Shelly to R25 by the halfway point of hour 17. With that being said and done, you guys already know what time it is. GB Missile joined up to come and carry. And we weren't stopping if we lost this time. Funnily enough, when we started pushing, we actually lost 40 trophies, but I unfortunately wasn't recording at the time. It didn't matter though because we were determined to lock in. And by we, I mean GB Missile. We decided to play Wipeout because the knockout map at the time was just not good for our characters. Also, I guess there's this random glitch in Wipeout where they switch mine and GB Missile's score. I don't know why. This game decided if I got rank 29 or not, and I've never gotten a brawler that high in trophies before, so this would be a huge milestone for me. But you guys already know that was too easy for my team, so now it's time for the real grind to R30. Also, when you watch the gameplay, keep in mind I'm mainly going for chip damage and not for kills. You could also view me as a bodyguard of sorts. But long story short, GB Missile carried us to a win again. And again, and again, until it was time for the R30 match. Alright guys, this was it. I've been grinding this game for 3 months after not playing for 6 years, and this was the moment I wanted to show off what I learned. This match was do or die because if we lost this, we'd have to play 2 more matches in order to get R30. Haha, just kidding, it was a draw. Okay, now it's time for the real R30 match. We started off strong when GB Missile was able to get the first kill of the game, and the second, and the third, and the fourth. Then our Nani got one with her super, but now back to GB, who got the 6th. Then I got the 7th after conditioning this Colette with my super, and also Curveball is broken. I also got the 8th, even though it was a trade with my Hypercharge. Then GB Missile got the 9th. Then for the final kill, GB Missile lunged into the other team where he was able to get the Manny, meaning we successfully got R30. You guys might have noticed that we were playing with a Nani. Well, the Nani was just a complete random who happened to be good. So we decided to add them and invite them to help them push to their R30. Except I was pushing with Leon because, you know, I still gotta challenge to do. By the time we finished pushing the Nani to R30, it was about halfway through hour 19. To debrief a little, I decided to grind max for the rest of hour 19, and I was even able to get her to 565 trophies. And I'm not gonna lie, I streamed the rest of hour 19 and the entirety of hour 20, but I accidentally deleted the footage, so sorry. But for the entirety of hour 20, we grinded Leon to 900 trophies. In hour 21, I didn't delete the live stream where I was still being carried by GB Missile and Daniel. And I'm not gonna lie, I did get carried. Daniel clutched this 1v3, which ended up getting me R29. At that point, it was mainly smooth sailing because we were able to get R30 with no losses. This completed hour 21. During hour 22, we tried to grind Crow, but I'm not gonna lie, I could not focus up during these matches, mainly because of someone named Icy. Also, sorry to all my Cordelius fans out there, but GB Missile was extremely adamant that I don't pick him, so I had to do what I had to do. There is a bright side to this though, just stay tuned till the end of the video. Afterward, we grinded 5v5 knockout, and although we didn't make much progress, we did end with 815 trophies by the end of hour 22. In hour 23, GB Missile and I decided to grind knockout again in the hopes of getting Crow to R30. Unfortunately, due to the knockout map at the time, it just wasn't working. We tried to go for heist, but in order to be successful in heist with Crow, I had to buy the hypercharge, which honestly wasn't a bad purchase. At least he was fully maxed with my Leon and Crow now. Our heist games led into hour 24, and they were relatively successful, although we weren't seeing much improvement from the knockout games. Since there was only 30 minutes left and we still had about 150 trophies left to go on Crow, we just decided to grind max for the rest of the time. So we grinded Brawl Ball, where max is broken, and by the end of this pretty good game, max ended with 608 trophies, thus concluding the 24-hour challenge. Let's see how we did. Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room. I did not get Crow to R30 or master him, but to be fair, I did not play him nearly as much as Leon or Spike, so I'm really not upset by this. Overall, Crow lost 31 trophies. I was able to get Leon to R30, but I wasn't able to master him. But to be honest, I don't know what I was thinking when I was making that goal. That literally would have taken so much more time. Overall, Leon gained 135 trophies. We were able to get Spike to R30 in this video with an overall gain of 206 trophies. In fact, this was my favorite accomplishment for the entire video, so I think I need to reward myself. Yeah, this just feels right. This is so worth it. Now going back to the accomplishments, I was able to get every single character that I wanted to R25, which once again includes Chester, Frank, Surge, Shelly, Amber, and Nita. This group of 6 brawlers had a total trophy increase of 1,170. After maxing out Max, we got her to 608 trophies compared to her original 131, which is a 477 trophy increase. My total trophy count went from 11,756 to 14,232. This is a 2,476 trophy increase. Most of the brawlers previously mentioned are the main components to this number, but it is important to remember that quest trophies are also factored in. Lastly, it doesn't look like we got a new brawler, but now I have a confession. During some of the hours where I said, oh, I spent the whole hour doing this or that, I was actually grinding quests for the first 10 minutes in hopes of getting a star drop so I could secretly unlock a new brawler to show at the end of the video. I wasn't able to get many star drops through this method, but the first star drop I got happened to be legendary. And out of incredibly pure luck, I got the worst skin in the game. And the other secret star drops I got were just garbage. There could definitely be an argument made that I could have gotten a brawler at hour 15 through the Brawl Pass, but I ultimately decided to choose the credits, so I guess I'll have to take an L on this. It is pretty One second, guys. Yo, oh my gosh, guys, I just unlocked Meg. I wonder how this happened. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Now I get to unlock Gale, and as soon as I unlock Gale, I'll be able to unlock Cordelius again. This part of the challenge was a massive success. But on a serious note, that is going to be the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. This is kind of different from my normal videos, so if you guys enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. Also, I can't say this enough, but special thank you to GB Missile for carrying me during the R30 matches. His YouTube link will be in the description, and stay tuned because we'll be collabing soon. Thanks again for watching. This has been KFC is Good, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.